Joining us now is Okpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Janet.
Good morning, Dr. Batty. How are you this Friday morning? TGIF. Good morning, Tundu.
Morning.
TGIF,
Your
Victoria.
favorite day
Yes, you know how I get.
the week.
Good morning, Rufai.
Morning, Audrey.
You know I love your glasses, right?
Very cool glasses.
Very chic. I started wearing glasses, let me confess.
Yeah.
You can only catch it on my weekend shows.
That's true. Yeah. Well, I watched that too.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay, great. Well, all right. Good morning to you, viewers. Here are some of the top stories that made headlines this week. In the United Kingdom, the British Broadcasting Corporation on Thursday paid Patrick Jeffson, the former private secretary of Diana, Princess of Wales, a substantial sum in damages and has apologized to him over the way Martin Bashir obtained his 1995 Panorama interview. In the United States, CNN's Erin Burnett on Wednesday broke down in tears during an interview with a Ukrainian man, Serhiy Perabines, who violently lost his wife and 2 children in a Russian mortar strike and learned of their deaths by seeing a photo on Twitter.
Parent, any person around the world can't imagine your unbearable loss, above all of losing your children.
And Burkina Faso's Francis Kere has won the Pritzker Prize, often dubbed the Nobel of Architecture. Organizers on Tuesday revealed Kere as its 2022 laureate. He is now the first African architect to claim the award in its 43-year history. Under sports, Formula One world champion Max Verstappen has slammed Netflix's new documentary, Drive to Survive, of fake-in rivalries in the motorsport. The 24-year-old said there needs to be more teams fighting at the front and that Formula One does not need to heal after last year's controversial title decider. Verstappen took the driver's title following a decision by race director Michael Masi not to follow procedures around restarting the race. The Red Bull driver won the final race of last season in Abu Dhabi after overtaking title rival Lewis Hamilton's Mercedes on the final lap. Under entertainment, award-winning Afrobeats legends Two-Face and Davido made headlines with their philanthropic endeavors to empower the Nigerian youth. On Tuesday, Two-Face donated an ultra-modern recording studio to the music department of the Obafemi Awolowo University, while Davido on Wednesday announced that he is setting aside 20 million naira for 20 Nigerians with the best business ideas. Davido, who is always vocal about the slogan, "We rise by lifting others," said the beneficiaries will receive the funds today, March 18. Finally, Poland's Karolina Bilawska was crowned the 70th Miss World on Wednesday, with contestants and organizers expressing solidarity with Ukrainians. Bilawska claimed the title in Puerto Rico's capital, San Juan, 3 months after the contest was delayed due to a COVID-19 outbreak. Miss USA Sri Saini was named first runner-up, while Ivory Coast's Olivia Yassi took the second runner-up spot. Well, let's begin what's trending with reactions trailing the scuffle involving Chukwuma Obiano, wife to the former governor of Anambra State, and Bianca, widow of Chukwuma Soludo, which occurred on Thursday at the inauguration of Chukwuma Soludo as governor of Anambra State. The altercation began after Obiano's wife confronted Bianca about her attendance at the inauguration ceremony, while in a video that has now gone viral, Chukwuma was seen getting up from her seat and advancing where Bianca was seated. She allegedly assaulted Bianca, and as a result, Bianca issued her 2 hot slaps. As commotion ensued, Chukwuma could be heard using a vulgar language on Bianca. Well, let's take a quick look at the video before we come back for reactions.
Achamos
All right, you know, it's the vulgar language I did not understand, but let's take some tweets, Tundu, before I come to you. Well, Ola wrote, Ms. Obiano finally made history. She was the first outgoing First Lady to receive outgoing slap. Congratulations, ma. History will never forget you. All hail Bianca Ojukwu. Well, seventh generation wrote, she's a lawyer, former Miss Nigeria. Her husband is a former governor of Eastern Region. Her dad is a former governor of old Anambra State. She's a widow of a warlord. She's former Nigerian ambassador to Spain. She's classy. You can't come to her presence and be ranting. What happened there, Tundu?
Well, I want to start off by saying one simply does not fight at an inauguration. I mean, Governor Charles Soludo had prepared. This was his moment. And he's been rather upstaged by this situation.
Basically.
I thought the worst thing was proposing to your partner at somebody else's wedding, but fighting at an inauguration takes the cake. I just want to start there. And for me, fighting is always verboten. You never have to raise your hand to touch anybody. But I think what must have happened with Mrs. Ojukwu is that most of the time she keeps it classy, but yesterday she just wanted to keep it real. And she just wanted to react. And before you assess what somebody did, before you assess a reaction, you also have to look at the provocation that caused that reaction. And this has been in the offing for quite a while. There's a reason why Mrs. Obiano walked up to Mrs. Ojukwu ill-advisedly, as it turns out, to ask her why she was there. It's because Mrs. Ojukwu has been really vocal, and she's been vocal about how she feels badly treated by APGA. And while I don't agree with slapping people, do I understand her? Do I support her? Absolutely. Because she has talked about something that's very close to my heart. The fact that her husband's legacy is being trampled upon by a party and by people that he worked with and he served. She has been extremely upset about that and wanted to protect him. And it started in 2018 when she felt she was defrauded by not being given the Anambra South Senate ticket. And then there was a reconciliation in August of last year, and that took hours, and they all tried to hash out all the problems. But nothing changed, because when who's Governor Soludo now at the time, Professor Charles Soludo, kicked off his campaign in Anambra, Mrs. Ojukwu refused to attend because she said her presence would seem to sanction the appalling way her husband has been treated. She accused Governor Obiano and named him of going back to his vomit, she said, that he had removed all her husband, Dame Ojukwu's images all over APGA, a party that he served with his heart and soul. Now you want to put it back. And she just really accused Governor Obiano of trampling on this man's greatness. And I always have a problem with that. When people use somebody's name and what it represents for their own political points, but actually have no respect for that individual, have no respect for his legacy, and have no respect for his family, which is why I completely understand Mrs. Ojukwu's perspective. After that, when she did not show up for the flag off, there was another incident in November, celebrating her husband's birthday posthumously, where she again took the opportunity to criticize Governor Obiano and talked about the fact that this party that her husband worked so hard for, he was the first flag bearer, presidential candidate of APGA. He wasn't a founder, but he's seen as like the spiritual leader of the party. Her husband worked so hard for this party, and to watch it all go down the drain with people decamping left, right, and center was upsetting to Mrs. Ojukwu, and she expressed that. But at no point did she ever criticize Governor Soludo. She has always supported him, which I suppose explains why she came to his inauguration, to support him.
Yes.
So I think Mrs. Obiano was in her own ill-advised manner also trying to defend her husband. But we have now seen that that was just a huge mistake on her part. Like I said, I cannot sanction slapping people, but she's only human. Yeah. I really do hate the practice of tarnishing people's legacy and using people's name for political points.
Whatever may be the provocation, that show of shame, that desecration of Alaigo, that very ugly conduct on the part of two prominent women who should be regarded as role models, as role models for younger women in not just Igbo land or Anambra State, but the whole of Nigeria, is thoroughly condemnable. Now, what they did was to take the shine of the inauguration of Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo as governor of Anambra. Professor Soludo had intended this to be a very neat, dignified, quiet, brief ceremony, and he used the opportunity to lay out his agenda for the Anambra people: security, industrialization, culture, new tradition of governance. But attention was taken away from all of that because of a catfight between two women. As of this morning, we were told that Professor Soludo has apologized for that incident. Well, he doesn't owe anybody an apology.
No, he doesn't, actually.
Instead, it is the two women that owe him an apology for upstaging him on his big day. In fact, I was just saying, I hope nobody will come and say that Mrs. Soludo also joined in the catfight. Because he could have gone the other way. She could have joined the fight.
A three-way brawl.
You people don't come and spoil my husband's big day. Okay, that's that about that. So the second part of it is, yes, okay, they may have personal issues. Mrs. Bianca Ojukwu, wife of a warlord, may have reacted in that fashion, being provoked. Don't bring nonsense luggage to my doorstep. Don't you know who I am? I'm the wife of a warlord. Well, my point about this being two prominent women. Bianca Ojukwu has been most beautiful girl in Nigeria.
Yeah.
1988. She's been Miss Africa. She's been Miss Intercontinental. So something like decorum shouldn't be strange to her. She's been Nigerian ambassador to Ghana. She's been Nigeria's ambassador to Spain. She has been a presidential advisor. No matter the level of provocation, she should have been able to restrain herself in public because, this is about decorum. And as I said, she knows what it is. As for Mrs. Obiano engaging in street fight, she should have stayed in her lane, whatever the provocation. We saw the video. She left where she was sitting and walked up to a guest.
Catwalked.
And I don't know about catwalking.
Yeah, she knows about catwalking.
I know about
her dress was going all over the place. So she walked up to this woman and attacked her on a day that her husband was leaving. So she herself, even if she was defending her husband, she disgraced her husband.
Oh, yes.
Because, Governor Obiano, 24 hours earlier, I've been reminding the people of his legacy. The MC yesterday, oh yes, made the point, that this is Mr. Legacy. Now, the unfortunate thing is that the legacy that the people of Anambra and Nigeria will remember is that on the day Governor Willie Obiano was living, his wife turned March 17, I think that was the date yesterday, into slapping day in Anambra history. She made a different kind of history. So do the two women represent the average Igbo woman? I do not think so.
No.
And that is why Igbo youths are grieved. They have protested that this is not in order. Well, is it a case of provocation or is it a case of two fighting? Some people have said, well, maybe one party should sue the other for assault. But we're not interested in the legalese in this matter. We're interested in the fact that two prominent women who should be role models turned an important event into a catfight. And I hope that they will do quickly, they will act quickly and apologize to the people of Nigeria, because dignified, decent people like us watching this thing from a distance, we also feel thoroughly embarrassed.
Dr. Bati, you mentioned decorum, right? That Bianca should have showed some decorum because she's been, everywhere, ambassador, Miss World, all of that. But a lot of people on Twitter are hailing her at this point, well, Nigerians, because obviously they expected her to be quiet and to be, classy. And I don't think a lot of people are blaming her. They are blaming Obiano. But before I come to you, let me pull up an old video of Bianca during her glory days.
I have something for you. Now, Miss Peru over here, where is she? Now, Peru, she took part in the mother-daughter pageant, and she won the look-alike contest with her mother. Now, I have been approached by an international organization, this mother-daughter pageant, and I have decided that you and your mother will represent Nigeria at the pageant. What do you think your father would say when he finds you and your mother taking part in the pageant in Hawaii in 3 months' time?
Oh dear, we'd both have to look for accommodation elsewhere.
This was my favorite video of her, Rufai, that was circulating over the social media yesterday.
17th March 2022. A very sad day for our country. A very sad day in International Women's Month. A very sad day for Anambra people. For people that were celebrating their governor, a new governor in the States that will bring them a lot. Then we had this show of shame because of provocation. I don't care whatever might have happened in the past. You don't fight people in public. This is not the country we should build. Both of them, both the slapper, pardon my French, and the slappy are at fault.
Slapper and slappy.
Yeah, I'm using your
love
words.
it.
I'm using your coinage, Ozzy. This is a shame in our country.
Yeah.
The fact that two prominent women, the mothers of Anambra State, mothers of the state, Bianca Ojukwu holds a very highly estimable position in that state. She's the wife of Dame Chukwuma Ojukwu. And the wife of the governor, or the outgoing governor, or the outgone EFCC arrested and released governor now.
Have that story.
In the States, doing all of that. And you see people are clapping for one over the other on social media. That's to show you societal decadence. We are in trouble in this country. Our society is finished. People are praising Bianca for slapping somebody in public.
That's basically what
That's to show you how useless society has become. And now I see this thing called Twitter and social media.
All hail Bianca.
This thing called social media. I think it's even time for people to take a break because I don't know, maybe they need a mental reset.
Yeah.
It's to show you that we have lost our morals and value. If both of them are smart, what they should do is to apologize to the people of that state, apologize to Governor Soludo, and bury their heads in shame. We should say shame on both of them. No matter what have happened in the past, you don't do that in a public space at an inauguration. You came to a party, you crashed the party, you became the life of the party, you took all the drama to yourself. Because of what? Pure stupidity. It's a day of shame. It's a day of shame. And please, for everybody supporting one over the other on social media, you should examine yourself because you should be ashamed of yourself. So that's what we celebrate now. People slap each other in public.
Well, you mentioned her husband. In another development, Willie Obiano, the immediate past governor of Anambra State, was arrested by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission on Thursday evening at the Murtala Muhammed International Airport in Lagos on his way to Texas. Well, according to a spokesperson of the anti-graft agency, the arrest was made months after the former governor was placed on the EFCC watch list over allegations of fraud. Well, according to a letter dated November 15, 2021, and addressed to the Controller General of the Nigeria Immigration Service, the anti-graft agency had asked to be informed whenever Obiano is seen attempting to travel out of the country. However, Ebelechukwu, in a statement today, said her husband has been released and will continue his trip to the United States. Dr. Bati, you're about to say something.
Okay, two things. I was trying to say that, look, the lesson of that ugly drama in Anambra yesterday is that, look, people should go to poise and finishing schools, grooming schools, when they attain public positions. Okay? So if you are a governor, for example, and you have a wife who becomes a first lady, either by default or by fact, please send her to a grooming school. I think it's very important. Because, you know,
but we shouldn't forget we're all human.
No, I know we are all human. I know we are. Have you seen any first lady in America slapping anybody?
Not yet, but there are other first ladies. Okay, I saw one from, no, she was not a first lady. She was actually from Japan.
Yeah, but grooming is important. Polish, finishing, okay? Right. Polish is important. Whether you are a governor's wife or you are another
Can we refer to
okay, now let me go to the second story.
Yes.
Now, the key thing here is about Section 308. You will recall that in September 2021, a wing of the APC in Anambra State petitioned the EFCC, alleging monumental fraud under the watch of Governor Obiano. So that was why by November, the EFCC issued that statement that you quoted. And Sidon Adinoba, until yesterday, Commissioner for Information in Anambra State issued a statement that, there were some influential people in the state trying to intimidate the governor, and reminded everyone of Section 308, immunity. Now, the key lesson here is that the governor, having left office, yesterday morning, no longer was covered by immunity. So this is a subtle reminder, by the state authorities that once you are no longer governor or deputy governor, immunity does not cover you again. You become an ordinary human being, and you can be invited for questioning.
Right.
So once you leave that office, you can be interrogated. Okay.
So apart from immunity, former Governor Obiano had a very difficult day yesterday, the anticlimax of no longer being governor, immunity withdrawn, like you've mentioned before, friends will be withdrawn as well, all the perks of office, and then his wife getting into that situation.
Well, so what's the statement that was released today about
another
saying...
Another statement.
Ebele Chukwu is not in source in all of this now. If Ebele Chukwu says her husband is released and EFC says no, I will believe EFC is over Ebele Chukwu.
Well, all right.
In fact, who is Ebele Chukwu in the first place? Former governor's wife.
She was former governor's wife.
Can you see life? Former governor's wife,
Yes.
less than 24 hours. That's why people should understand that power is transient. Tunde, was only yesterday we're singing the Coldplay song Viva la Vida about Louis XVI, how he used to rule the world. The old king is dead, long live the king.
Yeah.
And that's what has happened. The old king, Obiano, is gone. Long live Charles Chukwuma Soludo.
Well, all right.
So we should be careful in life. And I hope these politicians get it and conduct themselves with decorum in public and stop all this gallivanting all around.
Let's talk about Chukwuma Soludo. Long live Chukwuma, right? The former governor of Central Bank, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, on Thursday, during his inauguration as the 6th elected governor of Anambra State, said his administration will do everything humanly possible to end criminality in the state. Soludo read the Riot Act, addressing politicians whose stock in trade was to play politics with security and members of IPOB, the Eastern Security Network, the movement of the actualization of sovereign state of Biafra, and other armed groups to interrogate both the purpose and means of their campaign, or they will be riding a tiger.
My heart bleeds to see and hear about our youth dying in senseless circumstances. Every criminal gang today, kidnappers, wicked murderers, arsonists, rapists, thieves, all now claim to be freedom fighters. Criminality cannot be sugar-coated. This must stop. All the stakeholders must now review both the narrative and the action plan. To the IPOB, ESN, and MASOB, as well as the disparate armed groups in the forest, it is time to interrogate both the purpose and the means of your campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, to the politicians playing politics with insecurity, you are riding a tiger.
I thought that was such a powerful soundbite, and like you said, it's so important for everyone to hear it as well.
Yes.
And I thought he made so many valid points during his speech. My favorite was that he will patronize Anambra-made products.
Yes. Look at the innocent car.
Yes, can we pull
what
up
he
that
was
innocent
wearing,
pipe we can?
what he was wearing,
Yes, look at that.
the light refreshment, all it's Anambra first,
Yes.
and that's what's important, not this brawl. That
I know, I needed to highlight him.
And it
amazing
has to be
speech.
said, he has started working.
Yes.
We have seen some people, the Secretary of State and the likes, and people like that, let him work, let him deliver. He has a plan. This is more important than two fighting.
All I can say is congratulations. Thank you all for your beautiful analysis. I'll see you all. Well, that's all I have for you on What's Trending today. I'll see you next week.